Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Michaela and this is Evergreen Inks. Today I'm going to talk about how I set up my planner, my pocket rings for 2025, and then do a full flip through. Before I get started, if I just want to reiterate that if there are any less than kind comments that are posted, I will delete them, whether they're directed towards me or towards anybody else. Yeah, I just have to get that out of the way. I felt it needed to be restated again. Okay, so yes, I am still in my pocket rings. It is the Giulio Campagna Pocket XL in Epoca. Nope, it's not Epoca, it's Toscana Green. I will have a video coming out soon comparing about a year's worth of patina on the Toscana to my Epoca green covers. The Mia Cara, which doesn't have a lot of patina on it, is still very dry, and my A6 Campagna that has a lot of love, a lot of shine to it. And we're just gonna compare and contrast them like we did when I first got the Toscana. That will not be today, but that should be a coming video. Maybe the next one, we'll see. Yes, I do have 25mm rings in this planner. It comes with 20, and then I just switched out for 25 because I do like to keep the most information possible in my planner at all times. And that's what it looks like without my field notes notebook. I am pulling out my field notes because it does have part of what I'm going to talk to you about today in it. So the first thing I did to set up my 2025 planner was go through and list all of my 2024 inserts. I legitimately just went through and, sorry, trying to roll my chair up a little bit closer. Went through page by page, insert by insert, and listed out the, sorry, lost my brain there for a second, listed out the inserts that I was using in 2024. Maybe not even that I was using, but the ones that were in my planner for 2024. I then decided, after I'd listed it out, I then decided yes or no, did I want that insert again? And then here, or it's, so this dash, for example, was static. Either I have an unused insert in there already that I can just keep for 2025, or it's a reference insert that I don't need to update. And then this column was, yes, I'm using the exact same insert as before, or no, I want to update the style or the shop that I'm getting that insert from. And sorry, the filled in dot is new insert, the circle is same insert. After I did that, I then listed things that maybe I'd like to add from, or new in 2025. After I decided everything that I was going to keep or not keep for 2025, I then went through and went, is there anything else new that I need? And do I have the insert that I'd like for that? Or do I have to purchase a new insert? Or something, maybe there was an extra thing that I needed to update. One of my inserts, one of my reference inserts, I needed to reprint something because I needed to update it. And then down at the bottom, I just have prepping my archive system, which I will be doing a video on that too. I promised all of last year that I was gonna make an archive video. I simply didn't do it because I didn't feel strong enough in my archive system. It felt really haphazard. But I think for 2025, I have something a lot more sustainable and stable. So I will do a video on that as well at some point. So yes, after I did this, I then just went down the list and started working on these. The highlighted in green are the ones that I completed. This list is not actually up to date because I have done all of the inserts. Yes, yep, I've done everything at this point, except for maybe like one. I stopped highlighting them, but I was starting to feel overwhelmed with all of the. Sorry, I didn't realize that was out of screen so much. With all of the things that I needed to set up or change for 2025, plus switching over to January from December. And so I needed to start highlighting it. I needed to start piecemealing it. And that's how I felt less overwhelmed about it. And the first one that I did, the first insert that I redid was my reoccurring monthly task list setup. I don't have a better name for it, but I'll show you which one I'm talking about. Just give me 1 second. This one, the one where I have everything that I need to review or clean out from the previous month, prepping, cutting, and replacing for this month, and then like syncing, like my sync with my husband and his planner. I was starting to feel really overwhelmed with like everything that I needed. So I set up this planner or this insert first. And then because all of these inserts, like switching over from December to January, were in this list. So it just helped me get a little bit more clear on, okay, this is a monthly regular switchover thing, or it's like a yearly switchover thing. So I set this up first and I did my clearing out monthly and setting up for a new month at the same time as I was doing this. I don't think it much matters, but it helped me a lot. And I figured I'd mention it. The last thing about this before I take you through a full flip through of this planner is that these little like colorful asterisks are additional things or additional work that needed to be done besides just like getting the inserts prepped. So for example, like my low spend tracker, I needed to make a key, and for like my autism inserts, they just actually need to be set up. I have them. I have the inserts printed out. I just haven't decided how I want to organize some of that information. Some of it is just like a simple list of my morning and nightly routines, things that help me when I'm overwhelmed, music that I like, different type of sensory tools, that kind of thing. Things that are like kind of personalized to me, even though there are generally helpful ones for everybody. I felt like I wanted a list because when I'm in a place that needs that information, I don't have the memory to remember. So I still need to set those up. And that was just what that little asterisk was for. And in terms of time taking to set this planner up, I feel like it took a couple hours over the course of a couple days. Like I don't think it took too much longer than a normal monthly setup for me. I think the thing that took the most time was seriously considering if I wanted to keep or remove inserts from my 2024 system. I think that took the most brain power because I can always keep on keeping on, but at some point you need to, or at least I need to sit and think about, hey, is this an insert that's worth it? Or is it causing more trouble? Or is it taking up space when it's not even being useful? You are going to see some blank inserts in here. I still am filling things in. I didn't necessarily consider filling in a part of the completion. Just make sure it's in my rings and the old one is cleared out is what I considered set up for 2025. So there are still things that are unfinished, but that's okay. And we will get started. I did have this pen clipped here in my rings because I only just refilled my fountain pen after it being out for like a week and a half. And if my fountain pen is out, I just use a gel pen. It is the exact same color as the ink that I use, and I don't notice too much of a difference between the two. I think the line weight is pretty similar, and sometimes it's just easier to use a gel pen until I have time to refill my fountain pen. So yeah, let's get started. In the back pocket, I have some long notes, like list blank note paper, and then some important documents. I don't have anything currently in this pocket, but sometimes receipts or other things that I need to look at soon go there, and if they don't fit here, they go in my back pocket. I do have an if found, please return card, an in case of emergency card, and then another little information card back behind the Pokemon card. This is just a sticker of the same the same Pokemon, and I do have a straight edge here. This is my red light routine, theoretically my red light routine list set. I don't know necessarily what to call it, but basically I think I've talked about this in multiple videos, but if I'm having the worst day, what needs to happen or what could be helpful to do, like morning routine, PM routine, different kinds of things, but I never feel settled enough in a routine to take the time to write it out, even though I made it easily changeable. So I've never done it. I have good intentions with it, but I've never sat down and done it, mostly because I'm scared that if I do it, things will change. So, weekly prayer routine. I have my sticky notes here. I have my inbox here. I try to change this out monthly. For November and December, I used one side each. So I had November here, and then I just turned this over like this for December. If I don't use all, like back and front and back for January, I'll do the same for January and February. Just depends on how much I need to get out of my brain. This is for upcoming events that I don't pop immediately into my monthly. And I do keep some sticky tabs. I need to refill these sticky tabs in case we have something going on that isn't set in stone. I do have a key here for things, and they coincide with this as well as the color that I highlight in my monthly. This needs to be updated though. I didn't put that on my things to switch over for 2025, but I do need to update that. This is my 2025-2026 year at a glance. I finally created 2025 and 2026. I have it I did this. It's up on my Patreon for free. I will link it below. I have Sunday start and Monday start, and I have a lot of sizes. And if there's a size that you don't see that you want, please by all means leave a little comment down below, and I will update that for you, and I'll reply when I've updated it. Yeah, I like having a year at a glance. Something that I changed last night was that I moved my 2026 future log from behind my 2025 monthlies to up here. I know the continuity is skewed now, but my 2026 future log is now right next to the visual 2026, and it helps me kind of visualize what this might look like, and maybe I could even highlight on here these events. So it doesn't fit chronologically, but it fits functionally. So we're gonna go with it. I might switch it right back. This is monthly tasks. I took it from the 2024 Peanuts Planner Co. freebie. I haven't filled it in yet, mostly because I want to change what was on here from what I did last year. A lot of what was on here last year were the syncing of planners with my husband, and I have that in a new place. So I think these are just going to be monthly routine tasks that aren't necessarily planner related, and aren't necessarily cleaning related because I have a monthly cleaning schedule. I think it's just like credit cards paid off. Is this thing done? Like that kind of thing. It can be checked off here. Like miscellaneous things that don't have another home but are still really important. And then we move into my month on 2 pages. This is the undated version from the ghosting pen. I did end up just dating what I had, mostly for time's sake, and also because I want to be more about being content with the things that I had, and these were already printed, and I didn't have to fight with Tomoe River paper again. It's always a fight every time I print on Tomoe River paper, so the fact that I had 12 months of non-bent or smeared Tomoe River paper monthlies, I was not going to look that gift horse in the mouth, so I just dated them. Yes, I've got January through December. The tabs didn't all fit on the side, so November and December are back here. And then I do have just stickers for months, and if I have future date things, they're on page flags here, like I mentioned. Tasks go here if I have a task that I want to complete during the month, but it's not yet scheduled. If I have week-related tasks, they go here. For example, I have a lot of tasks that fall on Sunday for service, for church, whether it's bringing snack, bringing a pot for potluck, or whatever else. I do put that here. And yeah, that's pretty much my month and 2 pages. I have started color coding this year. Nothing that I can show you yet, unfortunately. Maybe in another setup when I have like past months to show you, I will show you. But if I have a doctor's appointment, for example, is like anything health related is pink for me. That's still true. So if I have a doctor's appointment, I'll highlight that pink. If my husband has an event or an appointment that's specifically for him, I'll highlight that blue. Stuff like that. Generally, joint activities or events will stay just blank. Yeah, mostly because that's orange and everything else, and I don't have an orange highlighter that I like, so it's not getting highlighted. That kind of thing. So just to make some things stand out versus some things not. But yeah, that's my month on 2 pages. And then I don't have anything to go back here. Maybe like brain dumping. I don't know. This side is unused because December is right here, but don't know about that. This is a trip planner. I always keep a blank one in the back of my monthly so that I can prep for any trip that comes up. I usually only keep one in here at a time, unless, of course, we had 2 trips happening within like a month of each other. Then I might have 2 and then maybe 1 more for like a blank just in case. But generally, I only keep 1. The next section is, I forgot to mention my tabs. I guess I'm going to go back and do that because some people sometimes have questions. I have 4 side tabs, and then down here I've got 3 bottom tabs. The four side tabs are schedule/calendar, lists, projects, and reference. And so this first bottom tab is monthly related stuff. This second bottom tab is weekly and trackers. And the third bottom tab is going to be dailies and journaling and stuff like that. I don't journal much in this planner anymore. That's what this notebook is for, but it's still /journal. /notes too, I guess. So this is my weekly section. Just have some decorations there, some extra sticky notes in our color scheme here. I do have my health log, a headache log, a health log. I know, so this is like a calendar list of health logs, and this is like a more descriptive thing. Yeah, everything except headaches go here in terms of like health symptoms, but sometimes unless it's a big appointment or like a big sickness, I don't necessarily want to put it here. Like I don't want to put every single time I have a bloody nose in winter, but I do log it in my health log, that kind of thing. I restarted this. This is something that I started in January of 2024, was use this as I call it autism symptom log. I don't know if that's like the kindest way to put it directed at myself, but that's what I just call it. It's basically tracking symptoms related to overstimulation or things that I do to help with like being neurodivergent in a really unforgiving world or that kind of thing. It's just trying to track how I'm doing, I guess. These exclamation points, for example, are a day that's out of routine, and I had a lot of out of routine days, and that makes sense then that the brown, where I'm just absolutely exhausted, there's a lot of those. And it's just it's not necessarily looking for patterns, but I saw that I had a lot of brown, so I made sure to nap or just take it really, really easy these 2 days. And I actually did that yesterday as well, because today's the 11th. And it's me trying to help myself, I guess. Because some of them are like, did I use a tool to help myself if I was overstimulated, or was I too bored and needed stimulation? And am I actively doing those things? That kind of thing. These are the Stalogy dots. I don't remember what size they are off the top of my head, but they are the itty bitty, like super tiny ones. I keep them back here in my pockets. They look like that. I think I got them from Amazon. I might have gotten them from Jet Pens. I think you can get them from both places, but I did get the smallest set because this is really small space. If there is something that I want to extrapolate on one of these days, for example, if I have 6 symptoms, sometimes those are related to being overstimulated, sometimes it's related to being sick, I will extrapolate further on this health log, and I don't have a problem with that. Yeah. This insert is a custom from Peanuts Planner Co. It's one of 3 customs that I had done by her when she was doing customs in 2023. I will link, of course, the insert that she has in her shop that is the most similar to this, that I based this off of. So if you're interested in having an insert like this, maybe that'll help, because I don't know if she's ever bringing customs back. But basically I have my autism symptom log on this side. I have gratitude and God sighting on this side. I have my habit log on this side, and I keep my projects here generally. I just haven't gotten around to listing projects for January. I'm kind of trying to ease into the year. I'm not like a gung-ho, let's do everything starting January 1st kind of person. So I will take it easy. Generally, these are either projects that I assign for myself or big tasks that might take more than one day to do. And I just put that here. Anything that's bigger than like a regular house cleaning or regular like going to post office things. Like if it's not something that I normally do in a month, it generally goes here, because I can generally do 3 big things a month before getting absolutely wiped. And that's this fold out. I wrap it around my weekly insert, which is my second custom from Peanuts Planner Co. This is my current weekly, and I just wrap it around any weeks previous and then this one. So when I'm flipping here, I have to fold them both out. This, I will also put the insert that inspired it, because again, it's inspired by a version of a insert that Vivara already has. This is my rolling weekly task list. I have started at the bottom, putting, again, basically nighttime routine things that generally by the time that I hit my nighttime routine, I'm too tired to remember to do. And so it's kind of like a, hey, these are things that you have to do to prep for tomorrow. As you can see, I've done kind of poorly this week. It's been a very low energy week. And these things do not go on here. That's something that I changed from part of 2025. I was double tracking, basically, because I was tracking for different purposes. This one was track to remember, and this one was track to correlate sleep, stress, and energy with the things that I wanted to track. That's still the purpose of this habit log, is to still track sleep, energy level, stress level, and some routine things that I find help with that. So that's still what I'm doing here, but these are things to remember, generally at night. There's a couple for the morning, but generally at night, because I want to do them because I always feel better in the morning if those things are done. These are tasks I try to assign on a day, the day that I want to get it done, with a dot. Half an X is it's started, a full X is it's completed, and a line through it means it doesn't have to be done again. Sometimes on these, for example, I'll put get gas, just to remember to get gas, but I generally have to get gas more than once in a week because of my commute to work. So if I get gas on Monday, let's say, I'm going to have to get gas again on Wednesday or Thursday. So I will cross it off, but not draw a line through it. A full line means it was canceled. If I have something that I started one day but didn't complete, you'll see multiple days with half X's, because I have a hard time doing anything all in one day unless I'm having a really, really good day. So there is that. Here, what I use these for has changed a little bit. This right now is cleaning and like evergreen inks things. So when something goes on Patreon versus when it gets shared to the public, that kind of thing. If I have a specific Instagram post that I want to post on a day that week, I'll also put it here. And then this is scheduled appointments that are outside of the norm. I work a full-time job right now, and I don't generally put anything related to work here because it just gets tiring. So sometimes this doesn't get used necessarily, but this week I needed it. This I have been struggling to find a use for, mostly because I've been low energy because it's wintertime and I'm like half hibernating. What used to go here was meals and cleaning, and I changed this to evergreen inks. So theoretically, meals would go here. But what I think I'm going to do for next week is meals, evergreen inks, cleaning, weather, because I feel like I could get in the habit of like even just writing down the weather. Yeah, I don't know. I feel bad that this is empty. It's okay that it's empty because the intention when I asked for this to be created was to make it adaptable and be as empty or as full as I need, but to give myself absolutely as much organizational space for the weeks that I need it. Or even going down to just a weekly instead of having dailies. So this would be like my daily log or something if I needed that. Like I meant it to be as flexible as possible. So there are going to be some weeks that some things just do not get used, but this is like a whole half side and it makes me feel bad. So I want to use it in some way, but also I genuinely need a place to meal plan. We just did not do it this week because we're just trying to like pull ourselves out of the holidays still a little bit. And this is kind of like our hiccup week before we get back on our normal meal schedule. So yeah, there's that. This side I use for weekly review. I have 4 questions that I ask myself at the end of a week, both planner related and like life related. It's what went well, like wins, because you always want to say things that went well. What didn't go well, because you do want to admit when things didn't go well so you can acknowledge them and maybe move forward. What things I want to keep doing that I did this week, and what things do I want to change about this week. And that's what I put them here, because my dailies are too small right now to do that anywhere else. And I like it. I think it feels good. I did have these as different sized fold outs on purpose. I did have this task list and this habit log on the fold out versus on the inside intentionally, so that when I flipped to my dailies, I could still see these. I like being able to see my whole weekly list, my PM routine basically, and my habit log here, because it kind of helps me remember that these 2 things exist and the information on them exists. I'm a very, if it's out of sight, it's out of mind kind of deal. So if it's open and I see it, I generally am thinking about those things again and being like, oh, is there anything else that I can add to today's week or today's list? Or is it something that I can schedule for tomorrow? And can I mentally prep like my brain that, hey, we're going to do that tomorrow kind of thing. So the fold outs and the size of the fold outs were very, very intentional when I asked for those things to be created. This is my weekly bookmark, I guess. I do have morning, afternoon, daily routines here and weekly cleaning here. These are ideals. I created them early in 2024 and I haven't yet looked at them and rearranged or redid them. We're still trying to settle into the house because we just bought a house. So I'm not changing these yet, but they're also not the most accurate. So they're just hanging out here for now until I can get into a headspace to kind of rearrange it. So I keep a full month of weeklies in here. And then this is something that I did add in 2025, and that's a weekly cleaning list. I tried to list out all the things that I want to do on a weekly basis, cleaning wise, and then other things that I thought needed to be on like a weekly list because they are routine things I do weekly, but they aren't necessarily cleaning. And then on this side, if it's something that has to happen on a day, so these are scheduled from Sunday, like these are listed, not scheduled, sorry, of things that generally happen on a Sunday all the way through Saturday. And that one should probably be further up because I don't know. Still working through this. So yeah, these are listed in like weekly chronological order, but if there's something that has to be done on a certain day, I'll just put it in the notes on this side. Generally, I try not to hold myself too rigidly to like, okay, you need to do this on Tuesday, you need to do this on Wednesday, or you're a bad person. But for example, like trash day is Monday. So trash to curb has to happen on Monday, and collecting all of the trash should probably happen before then, for example. I did not fill out the second half of the year because I just want to, this is new, so I just want to do like a quick, even just mental review of, did this work? Do I need to reorganize it? Are there things on here that I need to remove? Are there things that I need to add? And so I'll do that around the halfway point. These are monthly routine cleaning tasks, so things that I want to do on a monthly rotation. I have an insert for what week, and I think that's in my list section, what week of the month that I'd like to do it. Basically, these get moved to my weekly. That's another thing that I wanted to do, was either it's going to go here when I clean, but I think I'd rather it go here and move my cleaning to this list, meals to that list. And basically, this would get moved here on the day that I want to get it done. And then when I'm going to set up my dailies, it would get moved to my dailies. And then, or maybe I'll just write it down. And then once the task is complete, it'll get popped back on this little piece of acetate. Did stick a sticker down, so I have some decoration here. These are my 2025 goals, and I put them by my tracker section, because this is my tracker section. Because generally my trackers are the most related to some of my goals, and I didn't want to put it way at the front because I don't generally accidentally flip here, and it wouldn't put these goals of mine in my face every day. But I'm trying to daily track, I guess, and so I will accidentally look at this, when it's kind of an insight, in mind, out of sight, out of mind again thing. This format, like the charm bracelet, is not, I cherry picked that from somebody on Instagram. Their name is Eleanor and Leaf, all one word, no punctuation in between. They did their 2025 goals with charms, and I thought that was a really cute visual way to structure their goal list instead of just making it a list. Yeah, so that's what I did. Some of these things I think are a given. I don't think there's anything wrong with putting givens or like easy wins on your 2025 goal list. I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. And some of them are, yeah, I'd really like to do this. Some of them are even higher, like that one's going to push me to get done. So there's kind of a range of like automatic possibility, I guess, if that makes sense. This insert that it's on is also part of the 2025 Year at a Glance freebie. There's a 2025 side and a 2026 side. I might jot some notes down for word of the year thoughts or goals that I want, or big projects for 2026 on this side, I think. My word of the year is cyclical. I just wrote a blog post on that recently. I think that was my week 52. No, today's week 2. So it was my week 1 blog post for my Patreon, which you can go read for free if you'd like. But I was basically talking about how I want to think about my life in cycles, and also my planner in cycles. And that kind of made me think that, hey, my word of the year should be cyclical, because life is not linear necessarily. Just like the seasons aren't linear, they're always cyclical. But I also didn't pick this word out until this week. So I didn't come into 2025 knowing, hey, this is what my word of the year is going to be. I did some like gentle exploration through the first week and a half of January, and then decided on it. Again, slow start to the year. This is an insert from Meg Rhiannon. I need this reminder, and then we go straight into my tracker section. I'll show you some of my trackers. I will not show you all of them. I do have a cycle tracker. On the other side, I do have a water tracker. That's something that I put on my goals, is 24 ounces or more. It's a binary, yes you did or no you didn't. I'm not logging the amount of water that I drank. It's just, did you drink did you drink 24 ounces or more, or did you not? I'm also not punishing myself if I didn't, but like a gentle goal of, hey, Michaela, you need to hydrate more. And we're going to start small. So there's that one. This one is a number of days in pocket rings. I started back in pocket rings this streak, I guess, on November 10th of 2024. So I didn't start over and say that 2025 January 1st was day one. I just continued forward. The next is my slow spend, low spend, slow spend. The under consumption community is calling it a slow spend based on my rules, which are very like copy paste from Lindsay Scribbles. I do have a blog post on this as well, and it should be free by the time this post goes live for YouTube public, so you can give that a read. I'm not going to explain this because I just did in the blog post. And these are both related to that list. It's a spending tracker, a wish list tracker. I did print out the Ghosting Pens Planner Contentment Bingo. Yep, I have like both sides of it. And I figured once maybe this would be the first half of the year and this would be the second. I don't know. It printed both sides. So I have both sides. This is an empties log, which is part of my goals of being more content this year. And like one of those things, one of the goals on my list was I use up more things than I buy. So I had 7 things come in to my life, personal things. So that includes planner stuff, non-essential skincare or makeup things, or like purses and bags and wallets and stuff. I technically had purchased these things in December, but they were delivered in January, so I just added them to January. And I just want to use up more over the course of the year than I purchase and or bring into the house. Some of those things are necessary, like paper, packs of paper. I also want to be more intentional about using my washi and my sticker sheets, and use the pens that I have before buying new ones. I also have how many notebooks are you filling? So for example, when this one's finished, I thought I would finish this one before 2025, but then I just got really low energy, and the holidays got busy. So I have like 10 or 15 more pages. When this gets filled, it'll be marked as a filled notebook or insert in the month that I fill it. And then the idea is to total how many sticker sheets, for example, I fill up this month, how many, and then here is a running, like an integrator total. So for example, if I fill 3 sheets this month, or use up 3 sheets this month, 2 sheets this month, the total would be 5. And then by December, I will have this many things used up or filled in or whatever. I did leave a little note for myself here. If I empty something and I'm thinking about buying a replacement for it, there's a couple questions I want to ask myself. Do I have something similar that I can use already? Do I have like another one of these pens, for example? If I have another one of these pens, I won't generally ask myself these questions. But if I am all out of this pen, which is my favorite brown gel pen, do I have another brown gel pen that I can use that's good enough? Or do I need to replace it? And if I'm replacing it, so for example, I'm completely out of brown gel pens. I use them all up. Do I need another brown gel pen? Does it need to be a certain brand? So for example, the Pilot Juice, or can I buy something that might be cheaper or more easily accessible? For example, this particular color, coffee brown, you can't buy in bulk. The black pen, you can buy in bulk. And I think even just the brown, which is a little bit more of like a yellow brown, you can buy in bulk. But these ones you have to buy one at a time off of like Jet Pens or something. So this is not necessarily like the cheapest, most accessible option. It is my favorite, and I will, when I'm used up all of these and all of the other brown gel pens that I will have to sit down and think about, like, is the one-off worth it, or did I find another brown pen that I really loved while I'm using up what I have? There's nothing wrong with buying what you will use. I just want to think about whether or not the extra money and the extra time it'll take to buy 3 at a time, 5 at a time, whatever, would be worth it. I just have to think about it. The answer is allowed to be yes, but I just want to be intentional about thinking about it. So that's the empties log. Then I have my gratitude log, my sleep log, and then like a doctor's visits tracker. That could go up with my health section, but I just popped it back here. And then I have like my autism inserts, which are all completely blank, so I'm not going to show you because there's nothing to show you. And that's my tracker section. Then I have some more decorative stuff because I do believe that like making my planner pretty also is just as useful as useful. Yep, extra pen loop to hold a black gel pen. This is the pen that I've been using in this notebook because the paper is not friendly with fountain pens, and I find I'm less careful about writing when I'm using a gel pen instead of a fountain pen, so I just popped that in there. These are the weeklies from Peanuts Planner Co. I don't remember which ones. They might be a freebie on her. They might be. Maybe this one isn't, but like the lined one is. I'm not entirely certain. But basically, do you remember how I had the A6 Hobonichi weekly supplement? That was going great until I moved into this cover and it wasn't immediately in my planner anymore. And then I said, oh yeah, I'm gonna move into the Sterling Ink half-year undated common planner and do this there. I don't know why it hurts my brain so much to have like a multi-book system, but if it's not kept within the cover that I have, there is some sort of roadblock in my brain for using it. I thought I was over it, but I am not. So I decided I already had this insert. I used it for other things the past year and a half. So I just printed out some of these and decided that I was going to memory and sticker collage in this insert, and I was going to give it a good month. So I have a month's worth of these and see what I like. And I am more consistent in this one than I have been in either the A6 Hobonichi Weekly Supplement or the Sterling Ink Common Planner since moving into this cover. And it's just, I can't even tell you. It's not that either of those ones don't work. It's that the extra effort of making sure I know where it is and filling it in. It's just like one more roadblock in my brain to doing it. And it already takes enough of my brain to go, okay, where are your stickers? And it's something I truly enjoy, so it's something that I think is worth it. I don't want to eradicate it from my planner system because it takes effort. It is something that I enjoy. It's a way for me to have another creative outlet. I like memory keeping in a place where it doesn't necessarily fit anywhere else right now based on the dailies that I have. I think the effort is worth it, but the effort of pulling out a planner from a second place is enough that of an effort that I don't necessarily do it. Maybe that'll change. I've been saying that for years, like hopefully that will change, but right now it is not changing. I thought it would. So I have put these in here and I am doing my memory keeping on these inserts. I have a month's worth in here and then a cut down Hobonichi Weeks pencil board for flat surface writing, both for these inserts and for my dailies. Sometimes I put sticky notes here with reminders and such as well. And I also can move it if I need to have a flat writing surface somewhere else. These are my dailies. I keep a month's worth of dailies in here at a time. They are still the ghosting pen horizontal 4mm. I do print them on Tomoe River paper. This is where I like journaling with my fountain pen, but as you can see, I've been using my gel pen. I only just filled this up today. Here I do notes, sometimes journaling. This is, I don't know, it's whatever I want it to be. My task list is here. Events go at the top. Events go at the top. My task list goes here. Sometimes I have notes at the bottom. So for example, just notes about planner things that I change or things that I buy or wins for the day or things like that. I generally write them bottom up if I have room. If I don't have room, they will go down here for today, for example, because there's a lot of stuff that I'd like to get done today. Yeah, I have this tab here for marking the current week. For my review process, I do like to review all of my dailies for the week to catch incomplete tasks. And then either put them back in next week's weekly or migrate them to my next action list because they aren't as important as I thought they were going to be. I did try to set up a new weekly for next week. I was kind of getting itchy with my weeklies. But after I set it up, I haven't even filled it in completely for this next week. And I already know it's just not going to work. It's just a touch too small. And I'm having just a little bit of anxiety, to be perfectly honest, about switching my week to this. My weeklies feel like a security blanket. A lot of my planner feels like a security blanket. I have a really hard time changing anything in my planner one at a time. If I'm going to change something, it's got to be like a whole overhaul and generally a planner switch. If I'm needing a big change, changing something out like just my dailies or just my weeklies takes a lot of effort for me. So switching to this weekly, while it might be a very good idea because it's like smaller and it might help me be a little bit more conscientious about tasks that I put on my list. It's different. It scares me. I don't want to. So it was an experiment. I might play with it through this next week and use it alongside my normal weekly, but I already have a feeling it's not going to continue. So yes, I have at least 30 days or 31 days of dailies in here. Then I have another flat surface basically and some extra notes pages if I need them. After that is my second side tab, and this is my list section. Here I have reminders for green themes. I wrote this list when I first got my first Epoca green planner cover. I was worried at the time that, or no, it was my first Epoca green cover technically, but I made this when I got my Epoca green A6. I wanted to have only one A6 cover, and I was really worried that green wasn't a year-round color. I was really worried that I would make excuses to myself to buy another color because the green was out of season And a way that I tried to combat that was give myself ways to decorate in seasonal theme my planner. Winter, spring, summer, fall, Christmas time, miscellaneous, like year-round stuff. That didn't necessarily stop me at the time from having multiple A6 covers, I will admit, but I have since like destashed most of them. And also it turns out I don't actually care too much about monthly themes and monthly or seasonal decorating in my planner much anymore. I'm very okay with my planner's decorations being pretty stagnant, actually. Maybe that's just a shift in me. So this isn't necessarily a necessary sticky note anymore, but again, if I get the itch, I need a way to change up my planner because I'm getting, like I'm looking for new systems because of a dopamine hit. I keep this here because it could be a good way to get a dopamine hit without spending money. Here are my weekly review questions and my monthly review questions. I also have my planner checkpoints. I've talked about these before, at least on Instagram. This is not the full list, but this is the list that I'm thinking about right now. Basically, situations that my planner has to go through that give it like a checkbox, yes, this is a system that works. I don't need it necessarily as much anymore because I've used pocket rings on and off since April of 2023. But I still like it because I did just move back into pocket size in November from A6, and there were reasons that I switched into A6. There's always a reason that I find in my brain for switching out of pocket. And so I just keep this planner checkpoints list of like, oh, if you're moving back to pocket, does it check these boxes that I find to be important? So for example, traveling and vacation, like does my planner size or even the way that it's set up, because both things are important. Does the system that I have help? Is it flexible enough to get me through traveling, basically? That is a whole shift in routine. My life looks completely different while I'm traveling, or like a week of vacation. And is my, like, that's a huge, I'm gonna use the word trigger for me to change my planner system when I get back. When I get back from vacations is one of the times that I switch my planner the most often. And I guess that's another reason that I have this list. Did my planner get me through vacation or traveling? What about it didn't necessarily work while I was on vacation? Is that something that I can allow? So for example, maybe I didn't use my weekly on vacation because I didn't need it. That should be okay, right? To any one of us, like not using a weekly, especially because my weeklies are undated while I'm on vacation, like that should be okay. Or I use it differently, that should be okay. I don't need to throw out the baby with the bathwater, to use that phrase. And can I slip back into this exact same, like the way that I used it before, now that I'm coming out of vacation? So it's kind of just a pump the brakes if I'm feeling stressed out about my planner. So I have other things that I want to add to that list, but that's what that list is for. Sorry for the really lengthy explanation. I do plan on doing like a more in-depth blog post about that this year as well. So stay tuned for that, I guess. This is my next actions list. This is something from Getting Things Done by David Allen, I think. I'm drawing a blank. Basically, tasks that are not time sensitive. This is a brand new insert because I switched over for the year and I wanted a fresh start, and I decided that everything on my 2024 list didn't even need to be there. I could just get rid of all of those tasks. So I did. I do have a bullet journal key. This is from even my standard TN system, but I still use it, and it's good to have here as a reminder. This is a Sunday reset checklist. I think I got this from Canva. It is not mine. This is a prayer list. I'm going to skip right past. So for people that I need to pray for, I look at that weekly. This is my monthly planner setup routine list. I don't know what to call it. If you have a better idea for a name, because it sounds like quite a mouthful at the moment, it's basically the routine things that I set up in my planner every month. We talked about that already. I have a task trigger list. I have a prep list for things to prep for when I go in the office, because I'm in the office 3 days a week right now, and I just like having it there. I have a when did we last list. This is house stuff, personal stuff, car stuff. I do have a shopping list, like a non-regular shopping list. I have my monthly, quarterly cleaning. This is from when we were still in the apartment. I do want to update it now that we're in the house, but again, I want a little bit more time in the house before I rearrange it, so I just kept this in here. I have a home wish list here. I have an address change trigger list that I'm still working through, and then I have a someday maybe list, things that maybe someday I'll do. Yep, again, that's from David Allen. I do have a gift ideas list, a reading log for 2025. My goal for 2025 is 2025 book, or no, not 2025 books, 25 books, 25. And their ratings. I don't generally have energy to write a huge thought out review, but I like to give it stars. I do have a destash list. I need to go through all of my semi-unpacked boxes and decide what I'm destashing. I do have some extra inserts and list stuff here, and then I do have my December and November inbox, because there were just a few things that I didn't know what to do with from my inbox as I was clearing out my planner that I want to handle this weekend. Do have like a memorabilia insert. It's just a one big pocket. I found this on Amazon. I think it's linked in my Amazon storefront. I will double check. This is the third side tab, and it's projects. I have reoccurring projects. I again put a new insert in here. I don't even think I filled out the old one, but this is a new one. Social media project, finances, and then one more project. In my the social media one's the only one that I'll share with you. I will make a separate video for my finance project list. I'm just not going to go through it right now because there's personal information that I didn't cover. So this is my calendar for social media. And then I have a video blog post list, and then some content planning inserts. And then and then I had like a notes sheet in there for how I set up my 2025 planner, because I wanted to list a few things in a certain order for you guys. And then this little sticky note on the outside is Instagram post ideas. And that's all of my projects. And then this is my reference section. So I do have a Stardew Valley information list. This is how I do my, not community center, museum every time. And I'm always looking up this stuff. I found all these on Reddit, just like Lindsay Scribbles did. And then I made it big enough so I could see everything. I have my perpetual calendar, so things like birthdays and anniversaries. I do have my Bible reading tracker. This is the third thing that Vivara made for me. This is only partially filled out. It's a Bible in a year, Robert Roberts Bible reading plan. I think I've talked about it before. Then I have medical information, which I put a new insert in for, there's two sides, one side for me, one side for my husband. Grocery lists, packing list. I do have another insert that I started was, since we moved, there are new businesses, I guess, like our pharmacy, our library, our post office, what their addresses are, what their phone numbers are, and their hours. So I do have that. I have a passwords list, and I have a couple contacts pages, and that's what I keep in my reference section. And then back here, I just keep some of my most used stickers and so I have what's the word I'm looking for? Blotting paper. My most used stickers. I use these on my monthly. These are the exclamation points. I have a lot of different exclamation points from a lot of different shops. So my plan is just to go through and use them because I don't use them for what I originally thought I was going to use them for. So I just thought that using them on my autism log would be a good way to use them. These stickers I use for my common placing and my subject tracking in this notebook. I have these, and then I have stop and slow. These are supposed to be for me when I'm feeling close to the brink of a meltdown and maybe an actual meltdown. I haven't used them yet. I'm not sure about it, but that's what those are intended for. And maybe I'll think about that. If I end up not using them for 2 or 3 months, I might sit back and be like, is that what those should be used for? Should I use them for something else to use them up and then not buy them again? That's kind of the mindset that I'm trying to get into. So yeah, that's my pocket planner. Sorry for running so long. I hope you guys saw the I feel like I apologize every single time I have a really long video, but I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it wasn't too long and too rambly, but my planner looks a lot like it did in 2024. There were some significant changes for me and the way that I'm using it, but I do like the way that I'm using it. It fits in my purse. I don't feel like it takes up too much of my time. I don't think setting it up on a monthly basis is too tiresome. One of the other things that I did change moving into the new year was I'm not using a lot of color anymore. So for example, just really quick, I had a highlighter. Every month I changed out these pens. Highlighter, brush pen, extra gel pen color. So you can see that here is the teal that I wrote Jan in. A dot pen and a washi, and then whatever sticker theme I was doing. I had all of those that changed over every month because I also had the Sterling ink subscription, which is a lot for this size planner. And I decided, I think when I switched to this planner, that I was done doing that, mostly because the time that it took to match a washi, 5 new pens every month, and a sticker kit, it didn't feel, I'm not going to say useful, but it wasn't the creative outlet that I originally had started it with. It felt like more work than a creative outlet. And also I didn't feel like it was helping me be content, because if I didn't have a washi that immediately or matched well enough, I started to want to look for new washies. And I have plenty. I by no means have the most amount of washi that anybody does, but I'm also not a big washi user, so I would only use like maybe 2 or 3 times this much in a month. And like that's not enough. But my washi is years and years old at this point. Like that's how much I use my washi rolls. So it didn't feel like a good use of my time or my money or my storage space, to be honest. Especially when, I don't know. So like a black brush pen, and I always love green, so I have a green dot pen and a green highlighter. And so I still use them sometimes in the way that I wanted to functionally, but I don't know. I'm not putting extra effort into being colorful because it took away from the function. I would always feel like I have to set up the pretty parts, especially when it came to weeklies, before I could use it functionally, and then that would prohibit me from actually using my weekly functionally, and then I would be behind, and then I would just start to feel really bad. So it wasn't an intentional choice moving into 2025. It was like more sheer exhaustion, and then I realized that it was okay. But yeah, I'm not using color much anymore. I will say that I do have the 2025 monthly kits for the Coffee Monsters Co. Sorry, I'm trying to find like the Coffee Monsters Co. So for example, you can see like a little bit more blue and green in here, and then January is like yellows and pinks and stuff. I do have those. I had bought them in November of 2024 for my Sterling ink planner. So I plan on using those as much as possible, and then trying to use the excess in other ways. But I'm not going to, so for example, I still use the green highlighter with the yellow and pink January theme. Does it look great? No, but I'm also not going to take the time to find matching pens because that's not what brings me joy or a creative outlet anymore. It's the stickers or the being able to do other habits that I have, or not habits, hobbies, sorry, other hobbies that I have, instead of picking new colors. And that's just how I'm feeling right now, and I am completely allowed to switch my mental state back because I have enough colors of highlighters, brush pens, gel pens that I wouldn't be purchasing any more of those things for this. But yeah, I don't know. I guess it's a long way of saying like I am not using color the way that I was going to, or the way that I did last year and in 2023. And had I known that about myself, even in 2020, like November, when I switched back into this pocket, I may not have purchased the monthly kits from Coffee Monsters Co. Maybe I would have just picked like non-themed things of the ones that I use, like the boxes, for example. Like these, maybe I would have picked because she has like I don't know. Yeah, I would have made smarter decisions for me, I think, had I known that about myself. But here we are, and I am learning every day about myself as we go. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you guys hanging around so long if you got to the end of this. This is my 2025 planner system. Please let me know if you want to know where something is from. I will try to list everything that I used in the box below, everything that I mentioned, I guess. But if I forget, because I do forget, I've got a terrible memory, please ask. And I will answer in the comments when I can. I'm also slow to answer comments, so I apologize. It's not my first thing to remember to look for, so I try to look every time I create a new video. I'm trying to get better about that. Yeah, As always, thank you so much for watching. Please be nice in the comments, as I said previously. There is just too much meanness and unkindness in the world that we're not kind to each other in this community. And I will see you all next time. Bye.